I'm talking about he's in prison. He's in prison. And the interesting thing about this text is that Paul is in prison writing letters to people who are free. Say it again. Paul is in prison writing letters to people who are free. He's giving instructions on how free people ought to act when they're free. Listen. He's giving instruction as a prisoner to a person who is free. Listen, he's not writing letters to the parole board. He's not writing letters of appeal to the judge. But the reality is he has forgot all about his situation and he is concentrating on the people that he has been called to. And I need to tell you something, Ben. Every now and then you've got to forget about where you are and concentrate on the people you've been called to. Are you listening to me? Every now and then, Bishop Watts, I know you might have issues every now and then at the house and you might have things going on at home, but you've got to forget about what's going on at the house and concentrate on the people that you have been assigned to. And so Paul is in prison, ain't got no food, is not able to change clothes when he wants to change clothes, can't wash when he wants to wash, can't do what he wants to do, but he's more concerned on the posture of the people that are free. Because after all, what you don't realize is their praise is going to ultimately free him. Are y'all not listening to me? Listen. I need to be concerned about what posture you're taking when you come to church, because see, you're connected to me, and because you are connected to me, I need to make sure that you know how to praise and worship God, because see, your praise will bring about deliverance and healing. And see, if I've got the wrong kind of people connected to me, I might not get delivered and I might not get set free. What am I trying to tell you? You got to be careful who you're connected to, because everybody is not a praiser, everybody is not a worshiper. Baby, some people are sitting and looking at you crazy when you are up giving God worship and when you are up giving God praise. And see, my issue today, if I can just be transparent and honest, is I don't see how I got hit by another car on the way here and got here and folk was looking crazy. Folk that didn't get hit by no car today. Folk that didn't have no issues when they came here today.
Come on now!
I done traveled all the way from Compton, all the way to Pomona to give God praise, and to praise with you, not to praise despite you. You need to understand what I'm saying today. When you are connected to people, you need to make sure that they believe in the same God you believe in, that they're worshiping the same God that you're worshiping, that they believe the same word that you believe. And so here Paul finds himself in a position where while y'all are worrying about me, I need you to quit concentrating on me and begin to concentrate on the God that you claim to serve. It does not change the fact that I am an ambassador in change. Oh, yes. He said, but I've understood a long time ago what God was calling me to do. And that is to be content. And can I close by letting you know one thing? If you are looking for the perfect praise experience, you'll never find it. If you're looking for the perfect worship experience, you'll never find it, because your lines will not always meet. Do you hear what I'm saying? Your ends will not always meet. You're not going to have money every day of every year. Have I got a witness? But Paul is saying, in spite of where I find myself, there's still a praise on my lips. Have I got a witness? It says, in spite of what I'm going through, I still got a reason to worship God. Woo! Have I got a witness? He said, in spite of where I find myself, God is still worthy still the joy and the strength of my life. And he removes all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to lead me, never to leave you. The song says he'll never fall short of his word. Is there anybody here that understands that God is still worthy? And I got a witness. Shake somebody's hand and say, God is still worthy. Let me tell you what you do when you feel like you can't make it. You need to learn, like I learned, how to look back on your life and look at what worked for you before. And see, this is what I do. Every time I get scared, I remember the song says, oh Lord, are you listening to me? I remember Psalm 27. Whenever I get scared, I said, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? The Lord is my light and my salvation. Is there anybody in this place that can remember what brought you over? Every now and then, when you're going through, when folk are lying on you, when people are talking about you, you've got to learn, like David said, learn how to say, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they soon shall be cut down like the grass and wither away. You got to remember what works for you when you're going through sometimes, when you're waiting on your turn, and it seems like people are getting their turn before yours. It seems like the wicked are always prospering. You got to remember, like I do, remember, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Blessed is the man that does not sit in the seat of sinners. Oh, anybody hear what I'm saying? No standeth in the way of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in that law he meditates day and night. When you're waiting on your season, remember the word of God says that you should be like a tree